Hello viewers, welcome to another session of NMR spectroscopy. The GIF what we are seeing in this slide tells the fundamentals of the proton NMR spectroscopy. So we know that a proton, in particular a hydrogen nucleus, act as a magnet. Therefore, in the presence of an external magnetic field B naught, a proton can have two allowed spin states. So in the presence of applied magnetic field, a proton can have two allowed spin states. Number one is plus half spin state, also referred as alpha spin state, which is of lower energy. And the other is minus half spin state, referred as beta spin state, which is of higher energy. The magnetic moment of alpha spin state is aligned with the external magnetic field, whereas the magnetic moment of beta spin state is opposite to the external magnetic field. And also we have studied in the presence of an external magnetic field, proton precesses. So in the presence of external magnetic field, the proton precesses, and the frequency at which the proton precesses is called precessional frequency, and this precessional frequency is directly proportional to the strength of the applied magnetic field. Therefore, as the strength of applied magnetic field increases, the precessional frequency of a proton also increases. We have also studied that resonance occurs when the proton in alpha spin state absorbs radio frequency and change its spin state from alpha spin state to beta spin state. So in the phenomenon of resonance, the proton absorbs the radio frequency and changes its spin orientation from alpha spin state to beta spin state. Here you can see how the precision of the proton changes from alpha spin state to beta spin state. So from this GIF we can easily understand the fundamentals of proton NMR spectroscopy, which we have studied in the previous sessions. So in the previous session we have studied regarding nuclear shielding and de-shielding effects, which is related to the different chemical shift values for each type of the protons in an organic molecule. And as per our studies so far, we have came across two fundamental applications of proton NMR spectroscopy. The one is, from proton NMR spectroscopy, we can easily identify the number of different types of hydrogens present in an organic molecule. And the second application we have studied so far is, we can identify the number of each type of protons by the height of the signal, which is called integration. So till now we have learned two applications of the proton NMR spectroscopy. The third and important application of proton NMR spectroscopy is obtained by another important concept called spin-spin coupling, or else spin-spin splitting, which is also called N+1 rule. So from this third concept, we can identify the number of protons present on the adjacent carbon atom. So by spin-spin coupling, or else this N plus rule, one can identify a third application which is very important in the NMR spectroscopy. That is, we can identify the number of hydrogens attached to the adjacent carbon atoms. Yes, a third type of information to be found in NMR spectrum is derived from spin-spin coupling phenomenon. So if we take the NMR spectrum of simple molecules, one can find that each type of proton rarely gives a single resonance peak. So if you take a simple molecule also, we would get only one single resonance peak for each type of the proton. So this could be understood if we take an example. So I will take the NMR spectrum of 112 tribromoethane to understand the spin-spin coupling. So this is 112 tribromoethane, which gives two signals because it has two chemically non-equivalent protons. One set is of Ha proton and the other is of Hb protons. Since there are two sets of protons in 112 type tribromoethane, we will get two absorption peaks or else two signals for 112 tribromoethane. And the reference for this and also for previous studies, I have used three textbooks. One is Organic Spectroscopy by Pavia Lampan, and the other is Spectroscopy by William Kemp, and the third is uh, Spectroscopy by Silverstein. So these three books are very good to study proton NMR spectroscopy. So this is the NMR spectrum of 112 tribromoethane. From our previous studies, one would predict two absorption peaks in the NMR spectrum of 112 tribromoethane. Why? Because we know that there are two sets of protons in 112 tribromoethane. One is this methane proton. The CH group is called methane, CH2 is called methylene, CH3 is called methyl. So this 112 tribromoethane, from our previous studies, we would predict that we will get only two signals or else two absorption peaks for 112 tribromoethane, as there are two chemically non-equivalent protons. One is this methane proton, which is designated as Ha, and the other is methylene protons, which are designated as Hb. Since there are two distinct sets of protons, we will get two signals for this 112 bromoethane, but practically it is not so. However, the NMR spectrum of 112 tribromoethane shows 5 absorption peaks. So surprisingly, the NMR spectrum of 112 tribromoethane gives 5 absorption peaks. So from our previous study, we would think that we will get only two signals because there are only two distinct protons. However, the NMR spectrum of 112 tribromoethane gives 5 absorption peaks, which are present in groups. So here you can see there are totally 5 signals: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are totally 5 signals or 5 absorption peaks. So these are called peaks. These lines, the lines what you are seeing are called absorption peaks or signal. So uh, one group has 3 peaks. One group has 3 peaks at 5.78 ppm, which is designated for this methane proton, and the other signal has 2 peaks. The other signal has two absorption peaks at 4.15 ppm, which is for this methylene protons. So here there are totally 5 signals and which form groups. So this methane proton forms a group of 3 signals at 5.78 ppm, and these methylene protons form a group of 2 peaks at around 4.15 ppm. So since this methyl signal has split into 3 signals, it is designated as triplet. Since this methylene signal is split into into two absorption peaks, it is designated as doublet. So here you can also see the heights of the signals. Since the signal for the methylene proton has two protons, hence the height of the signal for methylene proton is almost double than the height of the signal for methyl proton. Here you can see there is difference in the heights of the signals. For methylene protons, it is almost double the height of the signal for the methane proton. It is due to because methylene group has two protons, whereas methyl proton has only one hydrogen. Hence, the intensity of the or else the integration of the signal is approximately 1:2. This 2 is for methylene proton, this 1 is for methane proton. So here what you have to remember is in the NMR spectrum of most of the organic molecules, we will not get only one signal. However, the signal for each type of the proton gets splitted. So here you can see there are totally 5 signals for 112 tribromoethane, which forms two groups, three absorption peaks for this methane proton and two absorption peaks for uh, methylene protons. So this phenomena of splitting the signals is called spin-spin coupling. So the phenomena of splitting the signals or splitting the absorption peaks is called spin-spin coupling or a spin-spin splitting, which can be explained by a rule called n+1 rule. This splitting of the signals is governed by a rule called n+1 rule, where n is the number of protons present on the adjacent carbon atoms. What is n? So the splitting of the signal is governed by a rule called n+1 rule, where n is the number of equivalent protons on the adjacent carbon atoms. So what is n? N is the number of protons present on the adjacent carbon atom. This n indicates the number of hydrogens or the number of protons on the adjacent carbon atoms. The absorption peak of a proton splits into n+1 components. So whatever we have seen the splitting of the signal, it is concerned with this n+1 rule, where this n is number of protons on the adjacent carbon atoms. Now you can easily understand. So in case of 112 tribromoethane, as we see in this NMR spectrum, we can see 5 signals. Among the 5 signals, a group of 3 corresponds to the methyl proton and a group of 2 peaks corresponds to the methylene protons. So this could be understood by this n+1 rule. So here what is n? N is the number of protons present on the adjacent carbon atom. So in case of 112 tribromoethane, the methane proton, here you can see the methane proton is present adjacent to the methylene carbon having two protons. So in this 112 tribromoethane structure, you can see here the methane proton is present adjacent to the methylene carbon atom having two hydrogens. So if we apply n+1 rule for this methane proton, for methane proton n is 2 because it has two hydrogens bonded to the adjacent carbon atom. For this methane proton, this carbon is adjacent carbon atom. So to this adjacent carbon atom, there are two hydrogen atoms. Because of this, n plus 1 gives 2 plus 1, that is 3. 2 plus 1 is equal to 3. Hence, the signal for methane proton splits into triplet. Since it has splitted into 3 signals, it is called triplet. Similarly, the methylene protons. The methylene protons are present adjacent to the methane carbon having one proton. So here you can see this methylene protons has uh, adjacent carbon which has one hydrogen. So if we put n plus 1 rule, n is 1 for this methylene protons. Why? Because so for methylene protons this carbon becomes adjacent carbon atom, and you can see here to this carbon atom one proton is attached. So because of this, n plus 1 gives 1 plus 1 2. Therefore, the signal for the methylene proton split into two signals, which is designated as doublet. So I hope you have understood this. Once again I will repeat. So this is the NMR spectrum of 112 tribromoethane, wherein we can see 5 absorption peaks, uh, among which 3 peaks, a group of 3 peaks is for the signal for methane proton, and a group of 2 absorption peaks corresponds to the signal for methylene protons. So this splitting of the signals can be understood by uh, putting n plus 1 rule, where n is the number of protons present on the adjacent carbon atoms. So here you can see this methane signal has split into 3 signals. Why? Because this methane proton is present adjacent to the methylene carbon which has 2 protons. Therefore, by n plus 1, 2 plus 1 gives 3, because there are 2 adjacent protons for this methane proton. Hence, the signal split into triplet. Similarly, uh, for these methylene protons, it has uh, methane carbon having one proton. These methylene protons is bonded to the carbon atom which is adjacent to the carbon atom having only one proton. Therefore, n plus 1 rule, 1 plus 1 gives 2. Therefore, the signal for methylene proton split into 2. So in this example, you can also see here the methane proton is more de-shielded than the methylene protons. Why? Because due to nuclear de-shielding and shielding effect. Since this methane carbon has two bromine atoms, so we know that halogens are electronegative, and the shielding of a proton depends on the electron density. Since this carbon bears two bromine atoms, therefore two electronegative atoms, hence the electron density in the vicinity of this methane proton is very less compared to the electron density around these methylene protons, because this carbon bears only one bromine atom, whereas methane carbon atom bears two bromine atoms. Because of this methane proton is greatly de-shielded when compared to the methylene protons, as a result of which this methane proton shows absorption peak at higher delta values compared to the methylene protons, and also you can see the height of the signals here. So from these examples, present in an organic molecule. Since the integration is 1:2, it indicates there may be a methyl group and methylene group. And the third is we can identify the number of protons on the adjacent carbon atoms. So since this methane is splitted into triplet, it indicates that the adjacent carbon atom has two hydrogens. Since the methylene proton, the signal for methylene proton has been splitted into doublet, it indicates that the adjacent carbon atom for this methylene group has only one hydrogen. So this is the beauty of NMR spectroscopy, from which we can also identify the number of hydrogens present on the adjacent carbon atom, which is known by spin-spin coupling or else spin-spin splitting, which is governed by the rule n+1 rule, where n is the number of protons present on the adjacent carbon atoms. So in there is another example. So this is NMR spectrum of ethyl bromide. Ethyl bromide also gives two signals because it has two distinct chemically non-equivalent hydrogens. One is for methyl proton and the other is for methylene protons. So here the signal for methyl proton splits into triplet, whereas the signal for this methylene proton splits into quadrat. Why? Because due to spin-spin coupling. So here you can see why this methyl proton are splitted into four signals. Again apply n+1 rule. Since the methyl hydrogens is present adjacent to the methylene carbon, which has two hydrogens, therefore 2 plus 1 is equal to 3. Therefore this methyl group splits into three signals, that is triplet around 1.24. And coming to the signal for this methylene proton, the methylene protons splits into four signals. Why? Because the methylene protons are present adjacent to the methyl carbon having three hydrogens. Therefore the number of hydrogens present on the adjacent carbon atom for this methylene proton is 3. Therefore 3 plus 1 4. Because of this the signal for the methyl proton split into 4. Since it has split into 4, it is designated as quartet. So here you can see this triplet is for this methyl protons and this quartet is for this methylene protons. So these methyl protons, all the three protons in this methyl group are equivalent, so they will give only one signal. And also the two hydrogens of this methylene group are equivalent, hence they will give only one signal. So these three hydrogens are chemically equivalent, these two hydrogens are chemically equivalent, hence we will get one signal. Whereas the methyl hydrogens and the methylene hydrogens are different, hence we will get two different signals, and which will split into number of signals depending upon the number of hydrogens present on adjacent carbon atom. Here we can see the signal for methylene protons is of higher delta value compared to the methyl protons. Why? Because this carbon is attached to the electronegative bromine atom, as a result of which the methylene hydrogens are greatly de-shielded when compared to the methyl hydrogens. And also you can see here the difference in the height of the signal. It is almost 1 is to 1 is to 3, or else 2 is to 3, you can say 2 is to 3. Yes, this is NMR spectrum of propane, 1-nitropropane. In 1-nitropropane, it has 3 sets of protons, 1 methyl protons and 2 methylene protons. So since there are 3 sets of protons, we will get 3 signals. 1, 2, 3. A, B, C. This A is for methyl protons, B is for this methylene protons, and C is for this methylene protons, and this 0 is for TMS. So first we will see these methyl protons. These methyl protons uh, is the resonance frequency of these methyl protons is around 1.0 delta ppm, and the splitting is triplet. Why? Because then there are two hydrogens bonded to the adjacent carbon atom with respect to this methyl proton, hence 2 plus 1 3. So the signal for these methyl protons split into 3. Then coming to methylene group, that is B, which has two adjacent carbon atoms. One adjacent carbon atom is methyl carbon, which has 3 hydrogens, and the other adjacent carbon atom is methylene carbon, which has 2 hydrogens. So totally there are 5, 3 plus 2. Then n plus 1, 5 plus 1, 6. So the signal for this methylene proton split into 6 signals, which is called septet, and it is also referred as multiplet. Since there are 5 adjacent protons, so the signal for this methylene proton splits into 6 signals. And coming to the last methylene group, that is C, so it has 2 adjacent hydrogens. So the uh, signal for this methylene protons split into triplet, 2 plus 1 triplet. Yes, so here you can easily see the the splitting pattern. This triplet is for this methyl protons, this multiplet is for this methylene protons, and this triplet is for this methylene protons. And you can also see the height of the signal. So from this, I hope now you understood how the NMR spectroscopy help uh, organic chemist in order to recognize the number of different sets of hydrogens present in an organic molecule. So here you can see there are there are 3 signals. It indicates there are 3 sets of hydrogens. A, B, C are the 3 sets of the hydrogens. And from the integration we can identify the number of each set of the hydrogens present. And uh, the, depending upon the splitting pattern, we can identify the number of hydrogens present on the adjacent carbon atom. Since this methyl proton has shown triplet, it indicates the adjacent carbon atom has 2 hydrogens. Since this signal has 6 absorption peaks, it indicates it has 5 adjacent hydrogens. This is a triplet, which indicates the adjacent carbon atom has 2 hydrogens. So this is how we can easily identify the structure of an organic molecule by proton NMR spectroscopy. So there is another beautiful example, 2-chloropropane or else isopropyl chloride. So this is a structure. Here you can see there are 2 sets of protons. By looking into the structure, you may say there are 3 sets of protons. No, there are 2 sets of protons. These 2 methyl groups are equivalent. All the 6 protons give only one signal, whereas this methane proton is chemically non-equivalent, so this will give one more signal. So totally for uh, 2-chloropropane, the NMR spectrum has 2 signals. One signal corresponds to 2 methyl protons, that is totally 6 protons, and the other signal is for the methyl proton. So here you can see thus this methane proton has splitted into 6 signals, has splitted into 7 signals. Why? Because it has totally 6 protons on the adjacent carbon atoms. So for this methane carbon there are methyl groups two adjacent methyl groups, so which has totally 6 protons. So 6 plus 1 7. So the signal for this methane proton splits into 7, hence the name septate or else multiplet. Coming to the signal for these two methyl protons, means total there are 6 protons. Since these two methyl groups are chemically equivalent, the signals for these two methyl group will be only 1, which corresponds to 6 protons. And since the adjacent carbon atom has 1 proton, the signal for these two methyl groups splits into doublet, because 2 plus 1 3. It splits into, actually it should be 1 plus 1. So sorry, you kindly correct it. It should be 1 plus 1, because there is only one adjacent, there is only one hydrogen on the adjacent carbon atom. So the adjacent carbon atom for these two methyl groups is this methane carbon, which has one hydrogen. Therefore 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. So it splits into doublet. And also you can easily see the difference in the height, since the signal for this two methyl groups corresponds to 6 protons, hence it is of longest height, and this methane proton has only one, so the height is very less compared to the height of the methyl protons. And also you can see the difference in the chemical shift values. Since this proton is bonded to the carbon which has electronegative atom chlorine, hence this proton is greatly de-shielded compared to these two sets of protons. Hence it has higher delta values than the methyl proton. So this is how we can identify the number of protons present on the adjacent carbon atom by this n plus 1 rule, that is spin-spin coupling. So here there are some of the examples. So the signals which are on the right side are upfield, means these are shielded, and the signals on the left side are downfield, means there are these protons are de-shielded when compared to the signal corresponding to this proton. So you can see, so this is 1,1 dibromo 2,2 dichloroethane. So here there are two sets of proton. So you can see for this methane proton, the it has one uh, uh, so it is present adjacent to the carbon atom which has only one hydrogen. Therefore n plus 1 rule, if you apply n plus 1 rule, n here is 1, 1 plus 1 2. So the signal for this methane proton splits into 2. And similarly this proton is present adjacent to the carbon having 1 proton, hence n plus 1 rule, 1 plus 1 2. This also splits into doublet. And this is this methane proton is shielded because bromine is less electronegative than chlorine. Here you can see it, this compound also gives two signals, that is 1,1,2 trichloroethane gives two signals, just like 1,1,2 tribromoethane. This methylene proton has one adjacent, is attached to the carbon atom having one hydrogen. Therefore 1 plus 1 2. So the signal for methylene proton split into doublet, whereas the signal for methane proton split into triplet, because this methane proton is present adjacent to the methylene carbon which has two hydrogens, therefore 2 plus 1 3 triplet. And this the methylene protons are shielded compared to this methane proton because it has one chlorine atom, whereas the methane proton is has the carbon which is bonded to two chlorine atoms. Next, coming to 1 bromo 2 chloroethane. Here you can see here it also gives two signals because two sets of protons. This proton splits into triplet because it is present adjacent to the methylene carbon which has two protons, and this proton also uh, splits into three because it has uh, adjacent carbon atom which has two protons. And these methylene protons are shielded compared to these methylene protons because bromine is less electronegative compared to the chlorine. Coming to next example, 1,1 dichloroethane. So here you can see the signal for methyl protons split into two because it is present adjacent to the methane carbon which has one hydrogen, therefore 1 plus 1 2. And the signal for methane proton splits into 4 because it has an adjacent carbon atom which has 3 hydrogens, therefore 3 plus 1 4. So the signal for methane proton splits into 4. And since the methane proton is bonded to carbon which has 2 chlorine atoms, hence the methane proton is greatly de-shielded compared to the methyl protons. Next example is ethyl chloride. This the signal for this methyl protons splits into 3 because 2 plus 1 3, and the signal for this methylene proton split into quartet because 3 plus 1 4. Like this, by looking into the splitting pattern, one can easily identify the number of hydrogens present on the adjacent carbon atom. So here you can see the spin multiplicities. So this is number of protons on the adjacent carbon atoms, that is n, and the splitting which is obtained by n plus 1 rule, and the name of the spin multiplicity. If there are no hydrogens present on the adjacent carbon atom, there then the n plus 1 will become 0 plus 1 1, and the signal will be of siglet which is designated as yes. If there is one hydrogen on the adjacent carbon atom, the signal splits into 2, it is called doublet designated as small d. If there are two hydrogens on the adjacent carbon atom, the signal splits into 3 designated as triplet T. If the adjacent carbon atom has 3 hydrogens, the signal splits into 4 designated as quartet Q. If the adjacent carbon atom has 4 hydrogens, then the signal splits into 5, it is called quintet. So above quartet, the spin multiplicity is designated as multiplet. So from spin-spin coupling, one can easily identify the number of hydrogens bonded to the adjacent carbon atoms. And here you can also see the intensities. In doublet it is 1:1, in triplet it is 1:3:1, and so on for quartet, quintet, sextet, and in generally multiplet. So in the next section we will see origin for spin-spin multiplicity, means why a signal splits into various signals. Thank you.